Some of the best shooter games give lots of options to players to solve problems in the game. Switching to alternate fire modes is a pretty common mechanic in most shooter games these days. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to switch between alternate fire modes and how to script them in Blueprints. We've previously already done the single fire in a separate video, but in this video we're going to work on the burst fire and auto fire and how to toggle between the three of them. And you'll also be able to set in each individual gun what fire modes they have. Lots of customization here. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Taken Grace and I make Unreal Engine tutorial videos just like this. So if you want to become a better game dev with me and the rest of the community here, make sure you subscribe to the channel and let's get straight into the video here. All right. Here we are in the project. We are going to get started. I want to point out one thing here for those who have not been following the series. We will need to make a enumeration called fire mode. Okay, if you can right click and go to blueprint enumeration and just create all of these. Just drag this over here. Single, burst, auto, and none. Okay, make sure that those are created. For those who did follow the series, we actually put that inside our weapon data, tomato. However, we can't do that, and the reason is because weapon data is a static asset. It can actually be changed at runtime. However, that updates all of the data assets for that particular mode. So we are going to actually delete this. It'll create one error, which we'll fix later, which is in our weapon tray where it's trying to reference the weapon data. So we'll fix that later. Instead, we need to open up our weapon class, and we need to create that variable inside our weapon class. We'll call it fire mode or fire mode. Okay, type fire mode. Okay, there it is. So we'll hit compile. The only two we need to change this on, because by default it's on single, is our SMG and our AK-47. So we'll open the two of those up and we will come down here to where it says fire mode, and by default the AK will be auto, and for the other one, SMG will be burst. Okay. All right. So really good things to learn in this video here today. We're going to start by actually doing the fire mode logic here for both burst and auto, and then following that we're going to be working on the actual switching, and then after that we will add the montage so that we can physically see that our gun is actually changing fire modes. Okay, so three major things we're going to learn here today. But before we get into all that, let's create all of like the kind of annoying like sub things that we got to do. So to start off, we'll go into our first person arms, our animations we made in the animation video. So you might not have these if you didn't do that video. We have the fire mode switch animation sequences. So if we just open that up, it's just our arms doing the little flickety flick thing with our gun. We need to create montages for those. So let's right click on AK fire mode and we need to go to create and create anim montage. Okay, and we need to do that for that and the switch, this one here. Okay, and create anim montage. Okay, let's open up one of the montages. Okay, number one, I showed this in a couple of videos ago, but we need to change the default slot to arms because that is the actual slot that is in our animation blueprint in order enabling this to actually play. Okay, if you wanted to, you could also add a sound effect, but all you do if you want to add a sound is you would come down to this notifies one track, right click, go add notify, and you would find play sound. Okay, you're gonna add play sound, and then when you click on this play sound, you can come up here and go to details, and you can actually set that sound. So that can be like a switch, flashlight switch. Sounds great. Okay, so you can add that in, and so yeah, right where that like animation kind of jits up, maybe that's where we play the sound right there. Perfect. Okay, so just do that one more time for the AK switch. Next, let's just create the controls and get those out of the way as well. So we'll go to actions, and we need to create two controls. One for toggle, actually it's just one control, toggle fire mode, we'll call it, and I think that's actually it here. Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay, so then back in our IMC here, we will add that control down here, toggle fire mode, and I'm gonna make that Z or Z or whatever you call it in your country. That's it here. We'll hit save, and I think that's it for the prep, and it looks like it is. So let's get started here. So we're going to be inside our weapon class. We're going to just open up our event graph and find our single fire event here, and we're going to click on that. Okay, let's create two new custom events. one called burst fire, and the other a custom event called auto fire. Okay. So single logic fire is already done. There's just one thing here, which is the ammo reload check, which we haven't actually added yet, which gets really annoying because, you know, if I just clean it out and I get to 0, it doesn't reload automatically, and that's going to get really annoying. I found specifically in this project, so we're just going to add that now. Oh, here's that error that I was talking about earlier with the fire mode. Okay, so we're going to just hit set text and we'll open this up. So it's trying to get, where is it? Right here. It's trying to get this fire mode from our gun data that we deleted. So we're just going to delete fire mode, and we will leave gun data there because it's getting information elsewhere. But we're going to come out of our equipped weapon now and get the fire mode, because that's where we put that replacement, and then we'll put that in here, and that will fix that error, so we don't have to worry about that. But anyways, back to this. We are, it is going to get quite annoying again, like I said, with the ammo reload check here. So what we're going to do is, right here is not actually where it is, because we do have an ammo reload check, and that's only going to fire if we fire again after we have no ammo. But so we need to add something down here. I would say, you know, select all this and move this down like a little bit. And after stop firing, then we're going to check if we have our ammo left from that macro. Okay, and if we do have ammo left, we're going to do this. And if we don't, we are going to reload query. Okay, and that should fix our issue here. I think I got the sniper. Yeah, the sniper only has 4 shots, so this shouldn't take too long. We'll just double check and make sure it works. Fire. Okay, so it happened pretty instantaneously, so let's add a delay right before this reload query, just to add a bit of time until it starts that. Okay, we're not going to test it because we know it works, so that'll fix that issue. That's everything we need to do inside single logic fire. So if you guys have not done that single fire logic yet, here is the video on screen there. I suggest you watch that video first, because that covers all of the other things, such as like the fire control, single, all that, stopping firing, all that kind of stuff. So you guys watch that video, and then you can come back here and learn about alternate fire modes. Okay, for those who have followed along here, let's get started. So we're going to go back to our event graph. We're going to duplicate the fire logic, and we'll just call this burst fire logic. We got to put logic because we already have an event called burst fire, so it won't let us put the same. Okay, let's plug this in. Let's go into this guy. First of all, we don't need this. We don't need any of this stuff, because this is regarding rechambering, and the 2 guns, or any of the guns that I'm using in this project specifically, are not going to be rechambering if they're burst fire or if they're auto fire. Okay, if you have rechambering in your game for guns that are going to have alternate fire modes, then you would leave this in, but otherwise you don't need it. Okay, and then that's going to stay where it is. We are going to disconnect this, and we're just going to move it out of the way for now. Okay, we'll bring it back over in a little bit. Okay, what we're going to do here, we're going to just move this up and create a little bit of room. Okay, we are going to create a custom event called burst firing. So with that created, we're going to come out of here and we're going to call burst firing. And then we're going to get a, what's called, we'll just type in DON, and it's the do N node. I brought this node up in a tutorial I did a while ago, and I'm like, I have no idea what this does. And someone in the comments was like, oh, it does this. And I'm like, that's the most useful node I've ever heard of. So this will execute this node a number of times, and then it will stop letting it through. So it's based on how many times you tell it, it'll go through that many times. And then after it hits that cap, it's going to stop coming out of this exit. Okay, so it's really good for controlling flow. So we're gonna, this counts up from 0. Okay, so it starts at 0. As soon as you go through, this goes up to 1. So you want to put in the amount of bursts that you want, which in this case is 3. Okay, we're gonna come out of a counter, and we're gonna get an equals node, and we're gonna put in 3. So does this equal 3? So the third time this comes out, this will be true, and then that is where we're gonna stop our firing. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do there. We do need to create another custom event called burst reset, and that tooltip is in the way. My apologies. Burst reset. We'll plug that into here, and we'll call that here in a second. Okay. Okay. So just to finish this loop off, we're gonna come out of false. So if this is not true, we still have counters left, and we're gonna add a delay node, and this delay is going to be the fire rate of our gun. Okay. So we're gonna grab our gameplay tags. Pardon me. We're gonna grab our gun data, and we're gonna get our fire rate. Is the fire rate not in this? Oh, we didn't make it yet. Oh, derp. Oh, sorry, we didn't make it yet. Okay, sorry about that. We're gonna go into our gun data and make that guy here. So weapon data, and we will make the one more variable here and call it fire rate. Okay, and that will be a float, and then hit compile. The rest of these, except for the AK and the SMG, shouldn't have to deal with its fire rate at all. This should only just be for specifically for burst and auto, so don't worry about those. Okay, so for the SMG, 0.1 was like pretty nice. Like in my prep project, I was like, this is so good. This is awesome. All right, and then for the AK, I think 1.115 was kind of too slow. I think 1.3 might be pretty good. Okay, you can play around with that, obviously. And just FYI, if you want to dynamically change your fire rate based on attachments on your gun, you're not going to put this in gun data. You're going to put this in your weapon class, okay? So yeah, just keep in mind that this is supposed to be static data that isn't necessarily supposed to change at runtime, but if you do change it, because I can actually come out of the gun data, like I was asking people about this last night in the Discord. Where's my gun data? So you can come on a gun data and you can set any of these variables, but that changes the data asset for all of the weapons. So if you have 20 different AKs in that have different attachments, all of them are still going to have the same fire rate. Okay, so just keep that in mind. For this, I'm not changing it, so I'm going to get the fire rate. I'm going to plug that in, and that's great. So let's come out of the delay and let's replug back into burst firing. Okay, so we're just kind of create kind of a loop here so that we can just redo this firing logic here, and we're gonna just put a comment box here and we'll just say burst fire number of times. Okay, when we're done the burst fire, we're gonna come out of true here, and the first thing we need to do is stop firing. We need to call that event stop firing that we made in the previous shooting video, or whatever the firing video that it was. Okay, so if you actually recall the stop firing, if you click on this, it removes the is firing gameplay tag, so we don't need to actually do that again. But what we do need to put in here is we need to get our gameplay tags, and we need to remove tag, and the tag we need to remove is can fire. Okay, we do not want to be able to fire in between burst shots. Okay, so this will be like kind of a super quick thing. After that, we're going to add a delay node, and this is going to control the delay between bursts. Okay, if you put an amount in here like I am, 0.3, that's going to apply for every gun that's running burst. If you want it to be dynamically set per weapon, then you can add it here inside weapon class and make that a variable here, and then change it in all the weapons that you have, okay? All right, so after that delay, then we're going to add gameplay tag. Oh, sorry, I need to grab gameplay tags. Here we go. Add gameplay tag. Then we're going to add can fire back in so we can fire once again. And then we're going to call that event over here to reset our do end, the burst reset. Okay. Burst reset. All right. That's how you set up burst. Now we just need to get this all involved again. So all we'll do there is we will, maybe we'll create another custom event here, and we'll just burst fire active. That tooltip thing is so annoying, and there's no workaround for it. It just drives me crazy. Anyway, so we will add that maybe in exit here. We'll just add burst fire active. Call that event right there. Okay, perfect. So every time we fire, we're gonna do burst fire active. It's gonna do all of our usual stuff here. Okay, we can actually get rid of this print string for current ammo because we actually have a weapon tray now, right? So. Anyways, so yeah, we got muzzle flash, then we got -1 bullet, then we're doing our line trace, then we're gonna do our recoil, checking if our HUD is valid or not, and if it isn't, then we're gonna create it. If it is, then we're gonna do our crosshair fire, and then we're gonna stop firing and reload query if we don't have any ammo left. I just realized that what do you call it, will still be in single fire too, this print string. Whoop, bye-bye, we don't need you. Okay. So that is burst fire. Let's move on to auto fire now. We're going to duplicate this once again, and we'll name it auto fire logic. Let's plug in auto fire. Let's open that up. We're going to delete what we just did, except the is firing gameplay tag. We want to keep that. But yeah, we're going to delete all this. We're going to delete all the events because we're going to create new ones. we're, yeah, essentially starting over here. Okay, this one we're going to create a custom event called auto firing. Same kind of thing. Then we're going to create a timer by event. Okay, and we'll plug this delegate into the event there. We're going to make sure looping is set to on, and the time, this is going to be our fire rate. So once again, grab your fire rate, whether that's in your gun data or if you put it in your weapon class, fire rate, and plug that guy in here. We need to right click and convert, or pardon me, we won't promote that to variable, screw that. It's just like literally one thing. We need to clear and invalidate timer by handle, disconnect this, and then this is gonna, for those who don't know, this event will fire every single time that we tell it to. So the fire rate of the gun, it's gonna fire this event. If you turn on looping, it's gonna continuously fire until we tell it to stop. This is the node that is required to tell it to stop, okay? So if we are firing, we're just gonna get our gameplay tag, and we're going to get the has tag node here, make a branch, and the tag we want to check and make sure we actually have is firing. So is it weapon, where do we put it? Is it shooting? Is firing. Okay, we want to check for is firing. Okay, so right here we're adding that gameplay tag, and then when we actually physically remove it, whether that's us letting go of the trigger or if it's some other way, like we run out of ammo or anything like that, it'll call stop shooting and it'll remove that gameplay tag. And then next time this goes to fire, it'll check and see that we don't have that gameplay tag anymore. And then we're going to come out of our false and we're going to plug into clear and invalidate timer by handle and clear this event. Okay. The next thing we want to check is, do we have ammo? We don't want to keep firing if our ammo's go, right? So we'll say has ammo. We can probably do an and node here. Plug this in the bottom, plug this in here, and plug this in here. So yeah, we'll do an and node just to kind of keep it cleaner. Move gameplay tags back here, move this back here. Maybe I'll move add ammo reload check. Actually, I can probably delete that because we don't need it anymore. Anyways, okay, so there we go. We've added that. So we're making sure we have the is firing tag and we have ammo left. And if we have both of those, this will return true and it'll come out of the true branch. If it comes out of the true branch, we're going to go right into there. All right, right into that sequence. All right, so those are all done. We are going to make one more custom event in here, which is going to be called toggle fire mode query. Okay. We're not going to do anything with this just yet because we're going to do that in a little bit, but I just wanted to create this event so we can call it inside our player character to get this all to work. Okay. Let's open our player character. Okay. And then in our controls graph over here, we'll just find where it has the input action for fire, and then that'll take us to the spot. Okay. So this is our single fire logic. So we're going to just move this down here. We need to check a couple of things here, which we'll probably do inside our gun, actually. Yeah, we'll do it inside our gun. So we need to get our fire mode from our equipped weapon. And we need to get the fire mode. We will drag this down here, and we will then drag out a fire mode and get a switch node. And here we go. Okay. So out of single, we're just going to plug that in just as it was. And then we'll get a new equipped weapon here just to keep it neat. And then we're going to call those events burst fire, not burst fire active or burst firing, burst fire. That'll start that first event. That'll add some gameplay tags and all that kind of stuff. And then this other one, which is auto fire. Can't plug those in. It'll call those events. The other thing we need to do here is first single. This fires once, okay? This fires once and then it doesn't fire again. The way we set up the auto is to basically continue to fire until we tell it to stop. And the way we're going to tell it to stop is by coming out of canceled and completed, we're going to get the stop fire. Or stop firing. Oh, that's in our, pardon me, that's in our equipped weapon. So we got to get another little reference here and stop firing. Okay. And we'll come out of cancel and completed. This will fire for both single and burst as well, but it's not going to affect anything because all this does is remove our gameplay tag is firing. So if we already don't have that tag, it's not going to do anything different. But for the auto, it's going to remove that tag. And then the next time it goes to actually fire the firing event, it'll see that the tag is gone and then cancel the firing. Okay, so that's what that is doing. That's all we need in terms of the firing. We should test it out here just to make sure that it works. So let's go here. Let's pick up the assault rifle, which should be auto. which it's not. Did we not do that here? Let's see. So let's open up. Oh, it is coming out of, it is doing auto. It just, maybe there's something set in the auto that's not correct. Oh, you know what we didn't do? Oh, we hit the stop firing here. So let's get rid of the stop firing because that removes the gameplay tag. So that would be completely redundant. And then actually burst fire, it'll probably be doing the same thing. So let's remove stop firing down here, and then we'll just plug that in normally. Okay, so let's hit compile. I'm pretty confident this is gonna work now, so I'm not even gonna debug it. There we go, we got our AK firing, and then I let go, and then it stops. And then we're gonna keep firing until we run out of ammo, and then it's gonna reload. Okay, let's check the SMG. There's the burst. That burst looks so good, I'm so happy with that. Okay, great. So the firing actually works. Two things we still need to do. We need to actually enable us to switch between the two modes, which will also update our weapon tray down there where it says single fire. Okay. Because right now, actually, this should say burst fire, but it doesn't. So that's interesting. And same thing with the AK. It didn't say, it said single fire as well. So by default, that should actually be set to the correct one. Did we, in our HUD class, when we fixed that thing, did we screw something up here? Let's see, HUD class. Oh, hey, look at that. We didn't plug it in. How stupid of me. Here, so we'll set text. There we go. Okay, so this fire mode is from our weapon tray HUD. Okay, and then we're going to set the text in there. And now, when we play, that should be correct. Auto, burst. Love it. Okay, so that's all done. Okay, so inside our weapon class, we're gonna create the function that actually switches the fire mode over. Okay, so let's go do that. Under, weapon class functions, we're gonna do switch fire mode. Okay, and the reason we're creating a function is because we want some local variables here. We'll create 3. All of them are gonna be Booleans, and they're all gonna be pretty much the same-ish. It's gonna be can auto, can fire, can auto, maybe, sure, yeah. That'll keep it nice and clean. And then another one, can burst, can single. Okay, so let's grab our gameplay tags. This is gonna be the same for all 3. We're gonna get has tag, and we're gonna check if they have the fire mode gameplay tag auto. Move this down here. It'll be an exact match, by the way, and then we'll move this over. We'll get a branch. And if it does, we are going to set this to true. And if it doesn't, we're going to set it to false. Okay, that's it. And we're going to do that for the other 3 here. So we'll just do that super quick. We'll just copy this, paste this, and one more time. All right, so now that that's all done, so this will check each gun and see what's possible in terms of what can be switched to. Next, we are going to get the fire mode and get another switch node. Okay, and now it's going to come out of fire mode based on what it is. Okay, we're going to collapse this to a graph, but we'll just make it here first. So this is only to get the specific enumeration values that we need, but we're going to come out of fire mode and we're going to get a make array node. Let's drag it here, get a for each loop. Okay, we're going to add a pin that's going to add this single, and then we're going to delete or disconnect this and then delete this. That was only to get this specific array data. So we're gonna start with single, and then we're gonna do burst, and then we'll add one more, and we'll do auto. Okay. We won't plug this in yet, just because, like I said, we're gonna make. Actually, we'll plug it into single. My apologies. Okay, so we are gonna check. We're gonna grab the array element. We're going to get a toName. Okay, and then we're gonna get our fire mode, and we're also gonna get toName. Okay, it'll convert our enumeration to a physical name, which means that we can now compare these two and make sure that they're the same. Equal. Okay, and we'll plug this into a branch. Okay, so keep in mind, this is not going to output the actual physical name of the fire mode. It's going to say enumeration 0, enumeration 1, enumeration 2, and it's going to check if this one is the same, and it's referencing these. Enumeration 0, enumeration 1, enumeration 2. Okay, so just keep that in mind if you are debugging or printing a string, like it's not going to say the exact thing we need. Okay, but anyways, we're going to come to true, and we're going to get another branch, and we'll plug in. So right now we're going to be in single, so this is going to go in order. So we want to check first, can we burst fire? So we'll plug burst fire in. Okay. And then if we can't, we're going to get another branch and we're going to check, can we auto? Okay, so it's look just like that, can burst, and if we can't, can we auto, okay? And then nothing's gonna come out of false there, but if we can burst, we are gonna set our fire mode to burst, okay? And then same thing here, if we can auto, we are going to set fire mode to auto, okay? That's how that works. We are going to now collapse this to a node. We'll call it switch burst / auto. Let's duplicate that graph and we will rename it switch, and it'll be the next one. So we'll be in burst, which means can a switch auto / single. Okay, let's plug in burst and then we'll go in here and we just basically got a delete burst. We got to move can auto to the beginning, and then we got to put can single in this branch. Okay, so everything's just, and then change these obviously, auto and single. Okay, everything else is the same. Just make sure it's can auto, true, switch to auto, can single, true, switch to single. Okay, that's the only change you need to make. And then we'll do this, of course, one more time. And we'll call this switch. And now we're going to be on auto, which means it'll be single / burst. Okay, we want to go in order, obviously. So, okay, let's open that. And same thing. We'll delete auto. We'll move can single to the beginning. And we'll add can burst to here. And then we'll change these to single and burst. Okay, that is all, everybody. So we'll hit compile. And that is our switch fire mode function. Okay, so we'll hit compile. Let's close this function. And these are all the subgraphs. I don't need any of those, don't need any of those, none of that. Okay, we just need the construction scripts toggle fire mode query. Okay, so in toggle fire mode query, we need to get our gameplay tag. The first thing we need to check is if we can switch at all. So we're going to say has tag. And in shooting, in fire mode, we have the can switch. Okay, we're going to make sure that. So just a note, there's another one that says can switch, which is in our weapon. I did a poor job of naming these. This can switch is can we switch weapons, period. This is can we switch fire modes. Okay, so just make sure that that's the right one. Okay, let's hit branch here, get a branch here. And let's make sure that both of our AK and our SMG actually have these tags in, which it looks like we don't have it in here. So let's add fire mode can switch, and we're gonna check all the fire modes that we want on these guns. So the AK, I want to be able to do all three. Okay, in the SMG, we already have can switch on here, and we have burst, but we need to put single as well. So burst and single. Okay, I'm not gonna do auto with the SMG. You can do it if you want. Okay, so we're gonna go back to weapon class. We're gonna check if we have can switch. Okay, and then after that, we want to get our gameplay tags again, and we want to check if we have the tag is ADS. So this is essentially just going to make you not go aim down sight if you want to switch your weapon mode, okay, or your fire mode, pardon me. So this is optional if you don't want that. If you want to be able to aim down sights and still switch your weapon mode, that's totally up to you. But I don't want that in my game, so I'm gonna call the stop. Oh, you know what? That's in our player. Pardon me. That's in our player. Get our player character here. Stop aiming, or aim stop. Okay. We'll call that. Okay. After that, we're going to remove some gameplay tags, which we made a macro for right here. Remove tags. Okay. So we'll plug in true and false of this branch into here. What tags do we need to remove? We need to remove, I'm going to remove can aim. Again, that's up to you if you want to remove can aim or not. Okay. The next one is going to be can fire, can reload, can switch weapons, can switch fire mode as well, because we don't want to like triple it up or whatever. Okay, so we're gonna remove all those tags. Then we're gonna call the switch weapon mode function that we made. Okay, so we're gonna figure out what weapon mode we're switching to. Then we're gonna get our HUD, and we're gonna update that fire mode in our HUD, and we made a function called set weapon tray, so that'll reset all the values on our weapon tray to the most current information. Okay, now we're gonna want to play those montages that we made, that we made at the beginning of the video there. So we're gonna get our player, because we should already have a reference to them at this point, and we're gonna get player ref. There it is, player ref message. I think I just because I put get, I didn't want to get it. Anyways, we need our animation instance. Sorry, we don't want the animation instance. My apologies. We want the arms mesh. We want to play montage. Player montage. There we go. This one that has a little white box, animation montage. That's the one we want because we get all of these nodes. If you get the one from your player instance, play montage, you can see that it doesn't have any of this stuff over here. Okay, so that's why we want to get this one. Okay, the montage we want to play. Let's make another variable inside our weapon class called fire mode switch montage, and that will be a anim montage object reference. Okay, let's hit compile. Let's go into our AK and let's change that to the AK fire mode switch montage, and then let's go into our SMG and do the same but for the SMG switch montage. Okay, we'll hit compile. Back in our weapon class, we will then plug in our fire mode switch montage, so it will play that. All right, on completed, once we're done that montage, we are going to get our gameplay tags, and we're going to get append gameplay tag containers. Come out of on completed. We need to come out of in container, make literal gameplay tag container, and then we just need to add all the gameplay tags back in that we want. So can aim for me, and then fire mode can switch, and can fire, can reload, can switch for that. Okay, so we're adding all those back into our gameplay tags, and that's it. We're gonna get a probably a collapsed graph just to keep this nice and neat. Collapsed node. This is switches, or sorry, queries and switches weapon, or sorry, fire mode. There we go. Okay, and to finish this off, we need to actually call this toggle fire mode query, which we'll do back on our player character. We'll get the input action for toggle fire mode. Okay, and we're literally just going to get our equipped weapon and call toggle fire mode query. Okay, you can add something in here as well, which I might, which, you know, for sprinting, I don't think we should be able to switch our fire mode. So in that case, I can get our gameplay tags in our player, and we can check if we has tag and movement sprinting. If we are sprinting, I do not want to be able to switch our weapon because that is redonkulous. Okay, and sorry, false is what I want to come out of. Okay, perfect. All right, this should work now. So let's grab our this, and we'll hit. I'm gonna hit Z, and you can see that the montage played, but the actual text didn't update. But the fire mode itself is updating as it's on the burst one right now. Now it should be on auto. Now it should be on single. Oh, now it's working. You know what? You know what it was? We didn't have a reference to our player. Yeah, that's what it was. So here's another good example where you can add in. Wait, sorry. Did it say we didn't have a reference to our HUD? Oh, we didn't have a reference to our HUD. Okay, so in that case, we can do what we've done normally in most of the other things. Just make some space here. We can convert this to a validate get. And then if it's not valid, we can get actor of class and get our HUD class. And then we can take our HUD and set it. And then we can come into here. And then if it is valid, we'll just continue on our way here. Because obviously the first thing I did here was run this. So in other areas of the code, we've actually set this value before. So yeah. I kind of want to do a debug video coming up soon here because there is quite a few like little issues that aren't necessarily game breaking, but they're either look weird or they're like kind of annoying. So we'll figure that out in a sec or in a little bit here. But there you can see it all works. The montage works. We'll go to the SMG and it should only switch between burst and single. Oh, it goes to auto too, but I told it that it can't go to auto. Oh, I put these both true. Look at that. That's false. There we go. A little quick debug there. Now we'll check the SMG. Yeah, so the next video we are going to do is projectiles. So I kind of want to do that first so you guys have something cool to do. And then maybe we'll do the debug session after that. So basically, I'll just get you guys to play your game and write down all of the little bugs that you guys find. And I will do the same. And then we'll kind of compare notes and see if it's some of them are the same. And we'll fix them all on a video. We'll just kind of walk through a debuggy session. But anyway, so this should go burst to single and then back to burst, which it does. So great. Fire mode works. You guys have ultimate fire modes in your game now. All right, so now you have alternate fire modes in your game, and hopefully they look super cool. If you guys have any issues whatsoever in this video or any other video after this, consider joining my Discord. There's lots of great game devs in there working on first-person shooter games, third-person shooters, mecha shooters, some cool things happening in there, so lots of brain power in there for us to help you guys out in any way we can. Special thanks to my coffee members. If you want to become a coffee member, you get access to videos early, access to my personal vault of assets, and lots of other great perks. So check it out there, and if you guys want to keep learning Unreal Engine 5, you guys can check out the video right there. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.